everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA. I'm Tim from Ledger. We have Ben with us today. So today we're just going to be going through and answering any questions you guys have. I can see that there's one question already in the chat from Tech World, so we're going to go ahead and address that first. But anyone else that's just coming in, feel free to start dropping your questions, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. So real quick, if you do like this content, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to our channel. That way it helps the YouTube algorithm get this message out to more people. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we've got Tech World here. Hopefully you're still here. I think this actually came in before we started the stream, so hopefully you're still here. But you're asking, can you show me how to send over my VeChain and HBAR to my ledger, please? And yes, we can show that. It's going to be a little bit technical, but no worries. We'll go through the process. We don't have a lot of questions coming in yet, so it'll be a good way to kill the time. All right.
So a little background here for what we're going to do, right? So those of you who use Ledger devices and use Ledger Live, our companion wallet interface software, are familiar with adding accounts in Ledger Live and then sending assets to those accounts. And so while that is available for a lot of the big chains, some small chains as well, like popular blockchains, some of them aren't integrated natively into Ledger Live yet. They still have a Nano app, which means you can secure and manage those assets with your Ledger device. But because they're not integrated into Ledger Live, you need to use a third-party wallet to manage them. And so when we say third-party wallet, what we actually mean is essentially a digital interface that does the same thing Ledger Live does. It lets you see your account, lets you generate transactions, it lets you receive crypto, but it's a different interface than Ledger Live. So for both VET and HBAR, there will be a third-party wallet involved. With HBAR, there's a little more technical nuance to it because we can see it in Ledger Live, but we have to use a third-party wallet to activate it. Tim's going to show us some of that.
Yeah, sure. So let's start with VeChain because that one's going to be easier and quicker to do. So we're going to connect to the VeChain Sync 2 wallet first. Oh, actually, I don't know. Oh, you know what? The VeChain Sync 2 wallet is an application. We don't have that set up for OBS. We can't add it though. Let me see if I can do that real quick.
Well, you do that. Does this device have a pin?
That device does have a pin. It's 1111.
Excellent.
Yep. And there's no crypto or anything loaded on that. So it's actually a perfect device to set up for HBAR. And we'll get into why we're using a new device and not a current device for HBAR here in a minute. Because you can see in my Ledger Live account, I already have an HBAR account. But you actually have to create your HBAR account through Hashpack before you can add to Ledger Live, which I've already gone through with this Nano, so it'll be much easier to use a unused Nano for that. Here, let me go ahead and add a new scene. You know what? Let's use vWorld because that is much easier. All right, let's go ahead and unhide Chrome real quick. All right, so our Help Center article is to connect to the Sync 2 wallet. However, the Sync 2 wallet is it's a desktop application, and for whatever reason, I don't have it installed on my computer right now, so I don't want to wait and have to go through all that, then add a scene to OBS. So we will just connect to the vWorld app, which is actually a really, really cool VeChain app that you can do as a Chrome extension.
And so you might be wondering, okay, you guys have this article on the Sync 2 wallet. We're going to use vWorld. What's the difference? And you know, if I want to use Sync 2, why would you show me vWorld? The account that you add and access here is going to be the same on both Sync 2 and vWorld. Your accounts exist on the blockchain. They're associated with your 24-word recovery phrase. And that phrase is stored in your device. But if you add an account in vWorld and you send VET tokens or VET to it, then you go to Sync 2 and you add an account, you'll be adding the same account. So we'll show you on vWorld. If you need to do it today, you can set it up on vWorld. We'll also link, Tim just linked in the thread how to do.
Oh, that's its a link to the vWorld.
Oh, perfect. So that's vWorld extension. We can also throw a Help Center article on how to use Sync 2 if you're interested.
Yeah.
This is the cool kind of mysterious thing with crypto where your accounts actually, since they're on the blockchain, there's a million different ways to see them. There's a million different ways to interact with them. Ledger Live is one for a lot of blockchains. And in this case, we have two different wallet options to manage the same account.
All right, so you can see that I already have it installed. In fact, actually, I will go ahead and remove it. That way we start from scratch. Add it back in, add the extension. And I can open this up. You see it's right there. Oop, not that. That one, puzzle piece. And find VWorld right here. I can pin it to my icons right here, so it makes it easier to find. Open it up. It's going to open up to this page. Oh, actually, you know what? First, we're going to have to install the VeChain
I was
app.
gonna say.
Yeah. Let's do that real quick. Let me
Looks
show
like
you.
OBS. Has
Oh.
a little interference right there, maybe
Oh,
like
it does.
live or something.
Oh, I
Did
see.
we drag it?
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Nice.
Go ahead and drag that right out of the way. All right, cool. Let's go to Ledger Live real quick. This is going to be the first step. It's going to be to install the VeChain app onto your Nano.
So what the VeChain app does, your Ledger device is like a mini computer, and so it interacts with your recovery phrase in a secure fashion to derive the appropriate wallet addresses from it. So you need an app that can do that. So we're going to install the VeChain app onto your device. That allows your device to derive that account address and also sign transactions from that address. Go. Didn't take too long.
No, the Nano X Plus is really quick. It's actually quicker than the Nano X to install apps. Yeah.
Is that anecdotal, or is there actually something?
It's just my own personal observations. I have like no technical or anything to no stats to show for that. Okay, cool. So now that we have the VeChain app installed on the Nano, we're going to exit the My Ledger tab. It is usually best just to close Ledger Live completely, but typically, as long as you're not connected to the My Ledger tab, you shouldn't have any issues. So we'll try it out without closing Ledger Live first. Okay, so then we go back to VWorld. Yep, go ahead and open the VeChain app. So at this point, you're going to want to make sure you got the VeChain app opened up like Ben just did, where it says application is ready. And then you can click on get started. Cool. All right, safe and secure. Great. Generate password. Give it a nice quick password.
So this password you set up here is just for the software, or in this case, the extension you're interacting with. This password won't be what's securing your cryptocurrency. That is your device PIN, and ultimately the recovery phrase stored within your device. So if you create a VeChain account using VWorld,
Yeah.
if you create an account using VWorld and you forget your password, it's not the end of the world. Because you have a Ledger device, the actual keys to your crypto are on the device, and you can connect to a VeChain wallet in the future and access it using a different interface.
Yeah, you can actually do exactly what I just did, where you go back to that VWorld Chrome extension, uninstall it and reinstall it, and it'll effectively reset the app, and then you can just go in and go through the same process and just reconnect your Nano, and you'll get the exact same account.
For those of you who use a password with the Ledger Live, it's actually the exact same thing. So sometimes we have customers who are really nervous because they're locked out of Ledger Live. Ledger Live is also just wallet interface software, and so you can delete Ledger Live, reinstall it, and add all your accounts back.
Exactly. Next, I believe here we go to import wallet, and the hardware wallet option, we import that. And it's only compatible with Ledger, so we select Ledger. Continue right here. And then you can see it derives our VeChain wallet addresses. And you'll notice it derives a whole bunch. This is very, very similar to connecting to other wallets, where it will actually show you all the accounts that you can derive. It's best to always do the first account just to keep things nice and organized. That way you know that your funds are attached to the first account, unless you're a more advanced user and you understand kind of how accounts are derived, and that you can derive an unlimited amount of accounts from the same seed phrase for any given blockchain. And then maybe at that point you would want to use multiple accounts. But for your first time setting up, definitely always use the first account. And then go to home page, and that's it. Now you're connected to VWorld. And then so now we can actually even exit out of that page, and we can go to the VWorld and open that up right here, and we can access it as a Chrome extension right here. So you can receive, and then you can copy your wallet address, or you can scan it, and then you can send from here. It supports tokens on VeChain, so all your tokens will show up right here. And you can add new tokens. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. And just like Ben was describing, this is just as secure as accessing accounts in Ledger Live. So that's how you connect. That's how you would manage, a good way for you to manage your VeChain. Or you can follow along with the steps in the Sync 2 if you prefer to have a desktop application and not a Chrome extension. And that'll go through a very similar process with the Sync 2 wallet, where you can manage your VeChain there.
It is important to remember, even though you can see this in your browser and receive in your browser to this, Without your Ledger device connected, it's impossible to send. Just like how on Ledger Live, you can't send a transaction without your Ledger device because your device is needed to sign the transaction.
Exactly right. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and
HBAR time.
let's do HBAR. This is like, yeah, it's a little bit more complex, but we're gonna do it because it's actually pretty interesting. Okay, so let's go back to Ledger Live, and we're gonna go back to the My Ledger tab. Okay, and we're gonna install the Hedera app, HBAR. Great. So we got the Hedera app now. So real quick, I want to show you guys what happens when you try to create a HBAR account before you create it first in Hashpack. So we're going to go here to add account. The Hedera. Continue. And it's going to say add new account. Please refer to this Help Center article on how to create a Hedera account. So you'll get this roadblock. So since no account has been created yet on the Hedera network, the Hedera Hashgraph network through Hashpack, it cannot be added to Ledger Live. So it has to be done there first. So let's close this. Go back to Chrome. Let's go to Hashpack. Perfect. Then you can actually download Hashpack onto your computer, Hashpack onto your computer as a desktop application, or you can scroll down here somewhere. Oh yeah, just click on Get Hashpack. Okay, yeah, so click on Get Hashpack. The already running into technical challenges here. So we're not going to install it on Chrome. We'll just launch the web app. Hopefully that loads. Oh, actually, you know what? I think they actually deprecated the web app. So I guess we'll have to install it on Chrome. And I already have it, so we'll remove it and re-add it. Cool. So there it is. Go ahead and open that up. We'll find Hashpack. I'll go ahead and pin it again to make it easier to find. Click on Hashpack, and there we go. So we want to immediately go to Connect Hardware Wallet. Right there, first step. Create a password. Hashpack requires a longer password, so I will put in a 12-digit password. Okay, I'm going to agree to their terms. Next. So you see they support Ledger and Decent, so we'll click on Ledger. And we're going to create a new wallet. And then right here, we have to click on Connect Ledger, Connect USB, Nano S Plus, select that, connect it. Okay, and then at this point, you're going to have to click on Get Public Key. So click that, and then you have to approve that on the ledger. Awesome. So at this point, you're able to choose your staking pool. So Hedera is, I guess we may as well get into it. So basically, staking is technically not supported with Ledger devices on the Hedera network, technically. However, if you choose a staking operator during this step, then you can stake your HBAR, because HBAR is one of those networks that is staked at the account level. So once you choose a validator, any HBAR that you send to that account will automatically be staked. So choosing, I guess we'll just choose this one. It doesn't really matter. Again, it doesn't really matter with HBAR because all validators receive the same APY. So you can kind of like choose whichever one you want. So we'll just choose the top one, LG. And we can click next. We're going to give it a nickname. We're going to call it Test Nano S Plus. I'm not a robot. Last I checked. And then traffic lights.
Getting harder.
Yeah, they are.
Does that count?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
didn't
Yeah,
like that.
you are a robot.
I'm a robot.
That's definitely.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
All right.
top right.
Top right.
Yeah,
This
top
one.
Oh, that was
That
impressive.
right
Yeah,
there.
that's crazy.
Okay, cool. Let's see if it likes that. Nice. All right, cool. All right, create wallet. So this is actually creating the account on the Hedera network right now. And this is why you can't do it through Ledger Live. Ledger Live doesn't yet have the capability to actually create accounts on the Hedera network because it technically does not use blockchain technology. It's not a blockchain. It's a hash graph network. And I'm not going to go into more detail than that because honestly, I don't fully understand it. It's very complex. But there's a lot of really good videos out there that describe it. So now you can see that we have our account right here on the Hedera network. We added it in, we created it through Hashpack. And there's obviously no Hedera in this wallet. So now we can exit out of this. You can manage it from here if you want, and you can send, receive, and do everything you need to do from here. I'll show you what I was talking about. If you, oh no, it's not there. Never mind. Yep, disregard. All right, I'm going to exit out of Hashpack now. Now that we've created our Hedera account through Hashpack, go back to Ledger Live using the same nano. And we'll add that same Hedera account here into Ledger Live. Now it's synchronizing. Oh, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, cool. All right, so Hedera, we're gonna call this test h bar dash s plus. Add that account, and you can see now with that this account is in Ledger Live. We added it in. And another interesting thing that I'd like to show you guys is when you click on receive your wallet address, you're going to get this very scary message right here that says your HBAR address cannot be confirmed on your Ledger device. Use at your own risk. And so that's because the Ledger device itself doesn't have the, it's not set up to be able to display or derive wallet addresses on Hedera. You see that it's this 0.0.385, blah, blah, blah. So this is the wallet address for Hedera. And if we go back to Hashpack, which we will here in a minute, you'll be able to see that it's the exact same wallet address, but just your Ledger device is not able to authenticate it. But it's as long as you go through those steps and you add it into Ledger Live, it's definitely safe to use. Then you can copy it and you can receive HBAR into your account, or you can go back to Hashpack. And you can just do all your management straight from Hashpack. And there it is, the same wallet address, same account. Yep. So yeah, so you can manage from here. You can manage it from Ledger Live. If you're trying to stake your HBAR, you won't be able to manage that from Ledger Live. You'll have to do that from Hashpack.
And so you mentioned that staking occurs at an account level.
Mhm.
What does staking look like? If I were to have some HBAR, is there a button I have to press, or is it automatically staked?
Yeah, no, it's automatically staked. So at this point, any HBAR that gets sent to this wallet will be automatically staked in the staking operator that we chose, and it'll start accruing rewards. And so one of the challenges and the limitations is that when you do have that for an HBAR account, since the Nano app for the HBAR isn't able to facilitate staking type transactions, you won't be able to claim your rewards. But one workaround for that is if you send more HBAR to the account, like even just one HBAR or just a little bit of HBAR, receiving HBAR into the account will automatically claim the rewards and add that to your available balance. Yeah, so I learned that from Stephen, actually. Yeah.
So a question we get a lot, especially with HBAR, is why is it so complicated, right? Like you saw even us clicking through it, it's kind of like a lot of different steps and different things to do. And ultimately it comes down to the fact that what we provide is like a wallet and a platform. And fortunately, our app development process is open source. And so any blockchain can build an app and submit it to us for security review and then have it published to our app store. But with some of the more exotic chains, HBAR, I would say, being kind of one of the almost most exotic, these apps can get quite complicated and complicated to interact with. And so it is kind of hard, the overlap and the workarounds that we have to find. But in this case, yeah, if you have HBAR and you want to stake it and secure it with your ledger, there is a way to do it.
Definitely. All right, we'll go out of that. Go ahead and come down to the next question. All right.
Any updates on the Ledger Card USA release? Thanks. We get this one every week.
Yeah.
And Regrettably, we do not have any updates for you right off the bat. The CL card, as it were, is provided by Banks, a partner of ours, and I know that they are still working things out for the U.S. card. I personally am also still on the wait list and eager to get my CL card. But at this time, as far as I know, there aren't any updates. So,
Okay, Jason's saying, when I bought my Nano, I was part of the hack that my information was stolen. Now I constantly get scam emails. Just today, claiming to be Ledger. Ledger never officially apologized. So we do have a blog post by our former CTO that addresses this. Basically, it was a leak through Shopify, and so all the Shopify customers had their. It was a very unfortunate situation, and we do apologize for that. But there was a blog post. So let me see if I can find it real quick.
While you're looking, in addition, apologizing and recognizing and making the blog post is great. We've also taken a lot of steps to protect user data in a lot of ways, including moving away from Shopify and also the way our internal systems works. If you email us right now and you send us your phone number, it's actually masked to us. You're interacting with customer support. So there are a lot of steps in place to protect user data. If you do
Maybe here.
blog, yeah, if you search, I think it was Pascal.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, that was Pascal. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the message that our CEO put out with more information about it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Looks like we're right here. Lorenz Ocampo is asking, how can I exchange my Ledger S Plus for an X? We don't actually have any systems in place for exchanges. The only thing is if you're having issues with your Nano S Plus and it falls within the warranty, we'd be able to replace it, or we'd be able to give you a discount code that you can use towards the purchase of a new device. However, as far as just wanting to exchange it in for an upgrade device, we don't really have anything in place for that.
That'd be kind of cool if we did.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, if you did purchase your device within the last 14 days or from Amazon in the last 30 days, you may still be able to return it for a refund.
True.
In which case, then you could go and purchase a Nano X. And then the other thing I would say, generally speaking, is keep an eye out because sometimes we do promos and other events where you might be able to get one at a discount. Actually, something fun if you're into NFTs. We did a release of limited edition custom Nano X devices that were dropped as NFTs, and you can actually burn the NFT and redeem it for a Nano X device with free shipping. An interesting fact, because not everyone knows this, is that a lot of the time they sell at a discount to the regular Nano X. Yeah, can we go to... So I'm going to show you on OpenSea where you can find these collections, because ultimately I think I've seen Nano X's, custom Nano X's, going for as little as $90, which would be about a $60 discount with free shipping as well. So you can go to OpenSea if you're familiar with it. It's kind of the go-to marketplace. And then, yeah, so here in the recent searches, one example is the Ledger Market Black on Black Nano X. These look pretty cool. They have
it's my favorite one.
a sapphire glass button.
Yeah.
I
can go grab mine real quick.
If you want to, yeah. I'll talk a little bit about these tokens. So these tokens, what they are just an NFT on chain. But once you purchase them, you can actually go through our redemption portal, burn the token, fill in your information, and then have the device shipped to you. So right now, this one, we'll just look at the first one. It's going right now for $97.27. So if you're in the market for a Nano X, especially a custom one, this is the cheapest way to get, I would say, the coolest Nano available to you right now at a pretty wicked discount. If maybe the black on black isn't your style, there are other Ledger Market NFTs out there. So we can go over to the Ledger Official right here. And what do we got? We got the Forgotten Runes.
Yeah, that one's
pretty sick.
Yeah.
What's this selling for? The black
0.065.
on blacks are $97, right?
Yeah, 100 bucks.
So this one's 103, a little bit more. But I would encourage anyone who's looking for a new Nano X, whether you're looking to upgrade or just get a cool custom one, take a look here. And the Deadfellows one was also.
The Deadfellows one is probably my favorite.
Proof of Redemption.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to show them the?
Yeah, sure.
Black?
So this is the black on black Nano X right here. You can see it's got the
You can hardly see it.
you can hardly see it. The clear sapphire. It's got my fingerprints all over it. But yeah, it's basically yeah, it's pretty cool Nano. It's currently my favorite one that I have.
All that for $97 can be yours. So, yeah. What else have we got going? Can you read also 25th Seed, How to Trust You Again, from Hummus?
Hummus.
Hummus, it's or H Hummus.
H Hummus.
It sounds like you're asking whether or not we have access to your passphrase on your device. So for those of you who don't know, when you set up your Ledger device, you're given a 24-word recovery phrase. That is the 24 words that's essentially your seed to all of your accounts. You have the option, an advanced feature that we offer is the passphrase. So some call it the 25th word. It's an arbitrary string that you add onto your 24-word recovery phrase. And from that, you can derive an entirely new set of accounts. This is something done after you've set up your Ledger device on your Ledger device itself. And so first and foremost, Ledger can't see any of your words, not your first, not your second, not your 24th, not all 24, and certainly not your 25th passphrase. And so the second half of your question, how to trust us, again, I would need more context, but ultimately, so the 24 words are generated totally randomly on your device when you set it up. And then the 25th word is something that you assign. So you would be the only person aware of that, unless you choose to disclose that with, I don't know, a friend or them or anyone.
Don't give it to me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Eddie Gastelum is asking, can I store my Pulse Chain and Pulse X to my Nano X? So it's not supported directly in Ledger Live, but I believe you can manage your Pulse Chain. I believe Pulse Chain can be added to MetaMask. I think.
Yeah.
Let's check. Let me show
Do you
you.
believe it helps on an article?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Back here.
Typically, so we come across all kinds of different coins and tokens where we, every day it's can I manage this, can I manage that? We tend to know the big ones. But the best place to start is by searching like Pulse Chain Ledger and seeing what it has to say about it. The app.
We'll be using the Ethereum app.
And MetaMask.
And MetaMask, yep. I thought it was possible in MetaMask, yeah.
So the cool thing with a lot of EVMs, so EVM is kind of a type of blockchain. They're ones that are built off of the Ethereum virtual machine. So they're very similar to Ethereum and how they operate. You can add all of those EVMs to a wallet like MetaMask and manage them using either the ETH app or if they have their own app, something like the Pulse Chain app. So we'll throw this in the thread here. You can go ahead and follow that guide. And if you run into any issues while you're setting up that account, feel free to go over to support.ledger.com. Or actually, if you're looking at the article, the contact us button in the bottom right corner, and you'll be able to connect with an agent and either have a live chat or an email communication with them.
That's a cool.
Oh, yeah.
And the contact us button.
Yes.
Also articles.
It's really
Very
nice.
nice.
Thank you to Sports Streams. Heard that Ledger will connect to future. We're moving forward toward a regulated digital world. Yeah, it's well, to the first part, yeah, it's our pleasure to be here on these streams. We love making this content for you guys. It's great to be able to talk to you guys and answer your questions in real time. As far as the XRP stuff goes, yeah, our app is always being developed and new functionalities being added there. So we love seeing new functionality added to Ledger device and Ledger accounts.
I don't know anything about that personally, though. I haven't heard any word about that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Mike followed up with, I like the Nano S Plus myself. I don't use or need the Bluetooth feature. Yeah, I actually really like the Nano S Plus as well. It's my preferred device. It's what I use day to day. And the reason I like it so much is because, honestly, I just like the buttons better. And it may seem like kind of like an arbitrary thing, but since I have an Android device, so I can actually use the Nano S Plus and connect it directly to an Android device using this little USB-C to USB-C cable right here. And it's just a really handy way to do it without having to worry about the Bluetooth. For iOS users, though, the Nano X is the way to go for connecting via mobile.
I think I prefer the S Plus.
Really?
I definitely use it more. Like Most of my crypto I do with my laptop.
Oh yeah,
I'm not really an on the go kind of guy.
Same.
So
Yeah.
unless I'm scanning QRs for like an exchange,
right. Yeah,
on mobile. But.
yeah, same here.
Any updates on the stacks? When is batch 1 shipping? So with the Ledger stacks, we have recently pushed some communications around that. And if you are a pre-order person, or if you have a pre-order for stacks, or if you order with an NFT, you should have received an email sort of specifically detailing what's going on with the process and when to expect your device. Ultimately, it's public now. I mean, there's been documents on it, articles on it, but there were some manufacturing issues with the yield, and so as I'm sure you're aware, since you seem to know about the batches and things, that did result in some delays. I would check your email if you haven't seen it. There's a lot of good information from our CXO in there talking about the whole process. And if you haven't received that email for any reason, reach out to support and we can make sure that yours gets sent, because I think there were a few that didn't get sent out.
Looks like H. Ummis is saying, oh, okay, you're talking about the recovery, Ledger Recover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah. So as far as Ledger, sorry, I missed that. So as far as Ledger Recover goes, you mentioned the passphrase. That's actually a great point. So if you choose to opt into Ledger Recover, you will encrypt, fragment, and then back up the fragments of your 24 words, your seed itself. But if you have assigned a passphrase or any number of passphrases, those will not be backed up. So there would be no way for that to be backed up. Now what this means is if all your accounts are on a passphrase and you back up your seed and then you recover later into a different device and you don't remember your passphrase, you will lose access to those accounts. So there is a trade-off, right? You have this added layer where only you know your passphrase and only your seed is backed up. But if you forget your passphrase, you won't be able to recover all your assets. So yeah, to answer your question, the 25th word is not involved in Recover in any way, should you choose to opt into that service.
Yep. All right. Let's see. To the Moon is asking.
To the moon.
To the Moon. Yeah. When trying to send Gala V2 to a wallet for my Ledger, I need to have ETH in parent account. Is that right? Curious how I can use the ETH I already have to do that instead of buying more. Thank you. So if you already have ETH in your account, then that's all you need. So basically, let me show you Ledger Live here.
And maybe while he's pulling that up, if you can, to the Moon, if you can clarify, do you by chance have both an ETH account and a second account with your Gala V2 in it? Because it sounds like, just from what you said, maybe you have Ethereum in one account and Gala V2 in another. Could be the root of your issue. But take it away, Tim.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, Gala is it's just an ERC20 token that's built on top of Ethereum. So when you send it to your ETH wallet address, so you'll send it directly to your ETH wallet address. So you'd want to send it to, ideally, the ETH wallet address that already has ETH in it. That way you can pay those network transaction fees. And when it's received in the address in that wallet, it'll show up as a token, just like these tokens right here within the wallet. And so you can just go ahead and generate your receive address for your ETH account. And bloop, and get your ETH address, and then you can send it directly to that wallet address, and it'll be received inside that ETH account. However, if you do send your Gala to an ETH account that does not have any ETH in it, no worries. Your tokens will still arrive safely. It'll be no big deal. You don't have to have ETH in the account to receive the tokens, but come time to send the tokens out, you will have to have some ETH to pay those network transaction fees. Because remember, it's always the sending wallet that pays the network transaction fees. So when you withdraw from the exchange, for instance, the exchange pays those network transaction fees. But when you have self-custody and you're managing your own tokens and coins in your own wallets, you'll be responsible for paying the network transaction fee.
Oh, this is a great question.
Yeah, this is your bread and butter right here.
Yeah.
Ben's getting excited.
Mina? Hopefully I said that right. Is asking, can I trust your entropy for recovery phrase generation? Will you ever enable dice roll for entropy and recovery phrase generation? Okay, great question. So
That's a cool question.
couple notes here, right? For anyone that doesn't necessarily understand this, fundamentally, good cryptography depends on very reliable entropy, right? So you need something that is truly random or as random as possible to conceal your secrets. And so our recovery phrases are randomly generated. Pull up the quality of random.
Yeah.
So our devices, what they do when you set up a device and you generate a recovery phrase, what they're actually doing is they're sampling entropy and they're generating a totally arbitrary string of data entropy, and that is used to generate your 24-word recovery phrase. So our randomness has been tested. We've received, is it the EAL5 plus AIS31 for those of you who are versed on RNG certificates. We've received the highest quality of randomness rating for how our device generates recovery phrases. So every time you set up your device, whether you know it or not, you are really using a high quality random number generator to create that seed. Now, you also mentioned dice roll and using that to generate a recovery phrase. You could and can make your own 24-word recovery phrase by rolling dice and going through a series of steps. There's a couple, I think there's a GitHub article out there, like someone breaks it down on a GitHub, and there's a couple other articles on how to do it. But you can very much assemble your own 24-word recovery phrase and then import that into your device and use that. If you don't, for any reason, want to just use the randomness on the device, that is something that is totally within your means. All you'd have to do there is set up that 24-word recovery phrase beforehand. And then when you're setting up your device for the first time, instead of saying setup as new, you would do restore with recovery phrase. And you would just enter the 24 words that you've assembled elsewhere using dice into your device.
Yeah, I love that question. It's really cool. It's very complex stuff, but it's very interesting for sure. Let's see. Okay. Queen Satoshi saying, can you please explain multi-sig and does Ledger have that option? That's a really good question. So multi-sig is the idea that you have an account that's protected, that it requires more than one signature to send funds from. So basically, if you have an account with multi-sig set up, and let's say that me, Ben, and another coworker all share this account, we can set it up so that it requires all three of us, each with our own Ledger device, to sign transactions from that account. And yes, that's basically multi-sig in a nutshell. And can it be done with Ledger? Yes, it can. There are several options. So there is, for Ethereum, you have Gnosis Safe, which is now just called Safe. And I can go to this. I've actually been waiting to get this question again because I recently learned about a Bitcoin multi-sig that's compatible with Ledger. All right, so Safe, previously Gnosis Safe right here. So yeah, so you can launch the wallet. You can set up a multi-sig operation using your Ledger. Yeah, from this website. So here, this is for Ethereum. Okay, and then the other one is Unchained. See if I can find it. I haven't actually played with this. Unchained. Unchained.com.
Yeah,
Bitcoin multi-sig vaults. All right, cool. So for this, you will have to actually create an account and do all that. And it's a little bit more of an intense process than just connecting your existing wallets to the Gnosis Safe website. But if you're interested in a really cool Bitcoin multi-sig option, check out Unchained.
Multi-sigs are a great solution, whether maybe you have an organization where you guys are dealing with crypto and it's a small organization or a couple of friends, and you want to make sure you're all able to manage the funds together and come together. Or also if you want to just have multiple factors, right? If you're worried that, oh, what if someone gets my Ledger device and tries to send my Bitcoin? If it's in a multi-sig and you have either multiple Ledger devices or various other compatible wallets, whatever they may be, you can make it such that having just one of those areas or one of those points of failure compromised doesn't put your assets at risk. You would need multiple, you would depend on multiple wallets to submit signatures before you can perform a transfer. So add some redundancy and resiliency there.
Yeah, and interestingly, we actually do offer a direct product for multi-sig, and that's our Ledger Enterprise solution. So our LES Vault that we have, it's basically business to business side. It's what organizations use when they want to manage their, well, not all organizations, but what a lot of organizations are using to manage their their crypto in a multi-sig fashion, and it's with our Ledger Enterprise solution. So if you do have a business and you're wanting to set up a multi-sig, very complex multi-sig operation, I would say check out our enterprise. I think it's just enterprise.ledger.com. Weird that it did. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so you can learn more about our Ledger Enterprise solutions here.
Kind of a hidden gem. They're
It-
really cool. I didn't know much about it when I first started here. But
Yeah, me either. Yeah, very, very
the
cool.
product.
And the team is top notch. Cool.
Okay, what do we
Oh,
got?
yeah,
Yeah,
here
we
we
scrolled down a bit. Sorry.
Like Kaiju, sorry if I mispronounced your name, is saying puzzling you guys get so little viewers, yet some influencers get so many viewers. Yeah, it's definitely something that's we're working on. As PJ said, we're actively working on it. We're working on launching some new shows to try to drive more viewers to our streams and get some really good information out there to the public. So it's a work in progress. I think part of it is probably that we're in this bear market and there's probably just not that many people. Although to your point, a lot of influencers are still getting a lot of views. So yeah.
But I can think of a couple things you can do to help. If you value this content, you want to share it with your friends, go ahead, send them links, right? Tell them the streams are coming up.
Yep.
Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. That actually does help us, especially this
Yeah.
early on for the algorithm, as I'm sure anyone on YouTube knows about. And then ultimately give us feedback. Tell us what kind of content you want, because we were actually talking after our last live stream, was it last Monday? Like, this is the kind of content when we got into crypto that we wanted.
Oh, I would have killed for this kind of.
But we want to also be building for you guys. So you're coming here and you're watching it now. What do you want to see? What aren't we doing? What could we do more of? Let us know in the comments. PJ's here too. He'll take notes and we want to build this for you guys. We want to deliver quality content. So yeah, let us know.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Bets is saying, when will Casper be authorized on Ledger for us to utilize? That's it. Oh, Caspa. That's good. Which one's Caspa?
Caspa, I believe that is an app that has been submitted and is undergoing review. So
okay.
as I mentioned before, briefly, our app development is open source. So what this means is if you make Tim Chain tomorrow, Tim, right, and you want it to be supported on a Nano, Ledger isn't going to make the Tim Chain app, right? We've got a lot of apps. We've got our software we manage, and ultimately we're focused on designing and upgrading firmware. So you will create the Tim Chain app, and then you will submit it to our Ledger team. So at Ledger, we have a world-class hacker team called the Donjon. They do sort of all the security building stuff. And also they audit our Nano apps before we release them, because ultimately the apps play a pretty critical role in signing transactions and keeping your account secure. So the Caspa app, last I checked, is undergoing some form of audit or review process.
I believe you're correct.
Ultimately, once it's reviewed by our team, if there's any changes they need made, they'll push those back to the Caspa team. They'll go back and forth until we are confident that it is a product that we are ready to push to our consumers. So once it gets that stamp of approval from our Donjon team, you'll be able to use it. Unfortunately, because the number of apps we're managing and ultimately the workload of the Donjon, they got a lot going on. It might take some time, and it's really hard for us. We get these questions a lot. We don't have an ETA. We don't like to commit to an ETA because if a new problem is found in the future, we're not just going to push that app to you. We're going to make sure that it's good to go before we get it.
Yep. All right. Yeah, and also it's even more complex when you're talking about all these different blockchains, because each blockchain is kind of built a little bit differently than the others. They all kind of have their features and their services that they offer, and the coding for them is much different. So it's really tough to say like with an exact time frame how long it will take for this review process to happen. So it's really just kind of a waiting. And it looks like Crypto Games Club is asking about Pulse Chain, when that will be supported, and that's honestly the exact same story. It will be up to the Pulse Chain team to create a.
When we have the app, right? Was that
no?
Is that a different thing?
It's with the Ethereum app.
Oh, okay.
Because you're connecting through MetaMask. Yeah. So the Pulse Chain team would have to create the Pulse Chain app, and then we'd have to get that incorporated into Ledger Live.
Oh, okay, that was to the Gala V2 question.
Oh,
So,
okay, cool.
yeah, if they're in the same account, then
Mhm.
if you only have Gala, you can send your ETH from your exchange. If you've got both, you should be good to go.
Yeah.
If you're still getting the wrong funds in parent account error, reach out to Ledger Support, chat with one of our people, and we'll take a look and get you sorted out. It helps when we can look on chain for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, and we don't want to ask you for any of your information here, like your wallet. We don't want to dox you in front of everybody, all of our millions of viewers. Oop, jumped on me. All right, here we go. We got another question about VeChain. So Shahid Mustafa, we actually, it's kind of funny. We connected to the VWorld VeChain wallet at the beginning of the stream, but you probably weren't here yet. But basically, for VeChain, it's the exact same story. Although with VeChain, there is a VeChain app, and there are several wallets compatible with Ledger that you can connect to. So
I think actually, I mean, how are we doing on time?
Oh.
If you want, you can also click back to the beginning of the stream and watch. We go pretty in deep with it.
yeah, we do. Yeah,
Show the article again.
honestly, like if you scroll up in the comments, you'll find the articles that we did for it. There's the VWorld VeChain app that you can connect to, and then there's also the Sync2 wallet, which that's a whole help center article that'll give you all the steps. And if you go back to the beginning of the video, then you'll see us connect to those. Yeah, good call. Mike and Clown World.
That's funny.
Yeah, we're serving. Yeah, well, if you get any complicated questions, drop them. We'll do our best. If it gets too complicated, no promises that we'll be able to answer it. We'll definitely do our best.
Honestly, Mike and Clown World drop any question, they tend to get pretty complicated pretty quick with crypto.
Yeah, true. Oh, this is a good one. How are you on account abstraction?
I mean, it's an interesting question.
It
I'm
is.
not super read up on it,
Okay.
but it is a cool concept.
Yeah.
Count abstraction essentially is where the goal is to take away your 20. Gets to find a way to make accounts something without having to have a paper seed phrase.
Yeah.
As
Yep.
far as how that's going to change things, it's more of a theory question. I think it'll be really cool
Yeah.
to see if we can reach a point where people can have the same level of security that they can have with a ledger and a 24-word phrase right
Yeah.
now without that. Social recovery too is one of those really interesting things where like, okay, I've lost access to my account for whatever, but I've assigned other wallets that can vouch for my existence sort of off chain and give me access to that account again. There's definitely a lot of cool stuff going on there being worked on.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm very excited to see what happens with all. I think that's kind of the way things. Not in general. There will always be people that want full self custody. There will always be these different groups, these different factions. But for like the masses, I can see a world where account abstraction becomes a kind of like a go-to way to manage crypto. I don't know. I can't tell the future. I don't know what that's going to look like. But to your question on how will we be able to enable that? That is kind of what we're going for with the Ledger Recover. I believe it's kind of a very similar process. It's not the same thing, but it's a similar step in that direction where now there's going to be a way that users can very safely back up their seed phrase, by sharding it out. And so it's a step in that direction, but it's not complete account abstraction. It's not the same.
Essentially, we're addressing a similar issue, right? The issue of people losing or having the wrong recovery phrase or losing the recovery phrase.
Right.
But in sort of a different way. I mean, account abstraction is really looking at like finding an on-chain or like a technical like on-chain solution to it. This is an intermediary solution, while ultimately the research and development on wallet abstraction forward. I've heard ideas of like, oh, maybe your phone could be one, your Ledger device could be another, your hot wallet on your computer could be another. Like places where you sign, where maybe you have to do multiple signatures or something like that.
That's
And
interesting.
so, but ultimately, also Vitalik has talked about like long-term, totally eradicate. I think it was, I don't know. I've heard something somewhere about like the idea of like when the 24-word recovery phrase or the recovery phrase in general will be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Like at no way is it involved in the user experience.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting time. I mean, I think wallets are going to get more and more complex.
They will.
But I think that'll be done in a way that improves user experience, hopefully. I'm excited to see that.
I know, me too. Like and this space is evolving so fast. It's like it's honestly really hard to keep up with.
Yeah,
It's
always something to learn.
always, yeah, never a dull day. Crypto Gains Club, Pulse Chain, and Hex community will definitely support your channel once it's supported. Right now, we use ETHAP to sign and confirm transactions. Yeah, definitely. So basically, again, the developers of Pulse Chain, they would need to build a Nano app and submit to us. In fact, let me just get you the, I believe it is what's the
The developer docs.
yeah, developers.ledger.com. So yeah, so if you're involved in the the embedded app, yep.
Yeah.
So if you're involved with the Hex community and you know people that are actively developing for that, and it's something that is wanted, share this link with them. Nano app, and this will actually show you all the steps that a developer team would need to take in order to develop a Nano app. It's all open source, and they can build it and they can submit it to us, and then kind of go from there.
But also, it is important to realize, like, if you're currently securing your Hex or Pulse chain with the ETH app, it's just as safe to use the ETH app. Actually, like when I interact with my Polygon account, Arbitrum account, any of those accounts, I use the ETH app just because it's easier. Ultimately, what you're doing with, let's say, a Polygon app versus an Ethereum app, because the Polygon app depends on the ETH app, you'll have to have both. But the Polygon app restricts signing to just Polygon, whereas the ETH app can sign on all EVM chains. So you're not actually really compromising security there much. The only thing that's kind of lost by not having a Nano app is if it were added to Ledger Live, then clear signing capability wouldn't be there. But for the time being, they aren't supported in Ledger Live either. So it is good to know, like, don't worry if you're using the ETH app to sign transactions on a different chain. Ultimately, it's still as secure as your recovery phrase.
Oh, it looks like PJ dropped a video, the intro to the Donjon. Nice. Yeah,
Nice.
that's really cool. Our Donjon team is underreported and underappreciated. They are insanely cool. The stuff they do. Basically, they try to hack other wallets and
Succeed in
and
hacking.
succeed. But not to dunk on anybody, but just to and they never publish these results, publicly before they've gotten with that team to let them know, hey, we found, a potential flaw that, and they're just working really, really hard to make the entire crypto space, not just Ledger, safer for everybody. And they're super nice. They're a super cool team. I would love to get them on one of these streams one day.
Sick, yeah.
That would be in the future.
That's peak, yeah.
That's like, but man, it would be really cool to get some of those guys here on teams. All right. So Taiju, I'm sorry again if I keep mispronouncing your name. Suggestion: I saw that you walked us through VeChain and HBAR wallets. Please document the description section after live streams.
Oh yeah.
And maybe timestamps that. Man, you know what?
Smart.
That is really
Very
smart.
good.
Yeah, I'm
I
actually.
think if PJ's here in the thread, PJ, if you can know that down, because that is really good feedback.
It is. Yeah, we really should be doing the timestamps, and it's. I would have to look up how to do it, but I'm sure it's not that. I'm kind of a novice streamer at this, which also may may feed into like why we don't have so many viewers, but we're all learning. Yeah. Crypto Gains Club. Okay, I will try to find some devs. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you can get in touch with them and get that app, then that's the quickest way to get that streamlined. Yeah, cool. Sweet. All right. Yeah, looks like we got to the end of the question. So we still got a few more minutes. If you guys have anything else that you want to talk about, do you have anything that you want to discuss? Anything?
So many things.
So many things.
Crypto stuff.
Yeah.
What's hot? What's hot lately in crypto? Hot at Ledger. We do have a promotion. Actually, if you're looking to get a Ledger device, I just saw this today on our website. Until October 3rd, you can get free shipping on a device.
Oh.
So even if you don't go on OpenSea and do the NFT thing like I talked about, stop by shop.ledger.com. If you have been meaning to get a Ledger device, free shipping. Yeah, I mean, they're shipped from France typically, unless you're in the United States, I think. So, yeah, you can get a good discount there at the top.
Oh, cool. Oh, let me show you guys what I'm doing. All right. Yep. So free shipping when you buy a Ledger Nano until October 3rd. Yeah, that'll save you, $20 or so.
Birthday promo.
Yeah.
Birthday.
Is that your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy
A lot
early
of
birthday.
birthdays on the stream lately.
Yeah, there are. I wanted to point this out because there's actually another. If you're interested in the Nano S Plus device, there's still a couple. So we ran this special where we had all these colored nanos that we had built for this 30% discount, and it's until supplies last. So this discount will last until there's no more. So you can see that we're all sold out of these colors for the 30%, but there's still the blue and the let's see. So the blue looks like
That's
that.
kinda cool.
Yeah, the blue's cool. And then the ice, which is basically clear, which is super cool. So yeah, so both of these are at 30% off with the Gone Soon code at checkout. So that's an additional 30% off that you can get right now on a Nano S Plus.
It looks like we may have skipped a
Oh.
question somewhere.
Oh,
Okay,
shoot.
here we go. Now we're gonna lean in really far.
Yeah, let's lean into this.
I think you skipped my question. MCBA. Let's see. MCBA, maybe, I don't know what happened, but we're not seeing it here. Okay, PJ doesn't see it either. MCBA, would you mind throwing your question one more time for us? We'll be happy to address it. We still got a couple more minutes here. We'll stick around and keep an eye out for that.
All right, cool. Mike and Climeworth saying, I've been lucky I got involved with digital assets just after FTX last year, which brought me to you for cold storage. Yeah, that was a very unfortunate situation. But it drove up awareness quite a bit for like basically the nature of where your crypto is stored. The world is very conditioned to have their assets stored within centralized organizations. But with crypto, there's no insurances in place. There's no FDIC insurance. There's nothing like that. And so when the FTX exchange collapsed, many, many, many people were left just dead in the water with no way to access their crypto, no recourse to take because, it was an offshore company, and it was just such a nightmare for the whole crypto community in general. But that's good that it drove you to do more research on the nature of self-custody and, learn how that works, because that's a very important thing to understand.
What a crazy question. Live stream. I love
Yeah.
this. I love this. Snora Purple Lady. How does the ledger work? I don't have Bitcoins because I don't know how to protect them. I'm not calling that crazy in a bad way. I'm calling it crazy because I love that
It's
question.
a great question. Yeah.
How does the ledger work, right?
Yeah.
This is the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah.
This is why we have jobs to help users understand that.
Let's zoom in on Ben for this.
Oh, we're zooming in on me? I'm taking it?
Wait, do you want me to take
Well,
it?
do you want to start?
Okay, I'll start. Okay. All right, so how does the Ledger device work? Let's just start with basics. Okay, so this. So we talked earlier about randomly generating your 24-word seed phrase. That is something that your device does. So to understand how Ledger works, you first have to understand how the seed phrase, what the seed phrase is and the significance of it. So the seed phrase is kind of a confusing term, recovery phrase, seed phrase, mnemonic phrase. It's got all these different names, but basically what it is, it's a set of words, and these words, it can be 12, 15, 18, 21, or 24 words in length. I believe Ledger uses the 24-word recovery phrase because it's the most secure. But basically what it is, it's a set of words that come from a very specific list of all possible words that it can be. And when you have a string of these words together, they can be converted into, I believe it's hex format, hexadecimal. Yep. And that creates because all letters, all words can be converted into this other, it's basically a different code, and it comes to a very, very long string of characters. And that becomes your master private key. And so while it is in word format to help you write it down, really what the computer sees is this incredibly long string of characters that acts as your master private key. And it's a unique thing. Your master private key will be the only one ever in existence. And so what the Ledger device does is it generates that private key for you, and it keeps it stored in the device. Then when you plug your Nano into Ledger Live and you connect it and you add your account, it derives all of your different accounts straight from that recovery phrase. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cosmos, Polkadot, any crypto that you want to add into Ledger Live will all be derived directly from your recovery phrase. Your crypto is never actually stored in your ledger. It's only got your private key. And so basically what it does is it acts as a really safe way for you to sign transactions. That way you don't have to have your private key on hand. You don't have to put your private key into the wallet. You never share it with Ledger Live. And so it creates a situation where you have this unhackable device that you can sign transactions from. And all you have to do as the user is write down your 24 words, keep that stored offline and safe. And then you can use that to back up in case anything ever happens to your Nano. So your Nano is really just kind of like a copy of the master key to your crypto vaults. And you can create as many copies as you want by importing those words into new Nanos or even into new wallets.
At a very high level, because you say you're also new to Bitcoin, right? When it comes to sending and receiving Bitcoin, when you send Bitcoin, you send it to an address, and the only person that can send from that address is the person with the key to that address. So that key is secret, right? If the whole world had that key, anyone could spend those Bitcoin. So when it comes to your address, you'll send from an exchange to your Ledger address, and only you have that key. It's totally random. It is very complex. Your Ledger device does a great job making and keeping that key, but you need to keep that key secret. Because if I get that key, I could take those Bitcoin. So all your device does is keep the secret. All the secret does is let you spend Bitcoin from your accounts. And so if you have Bitcoin, you want to send them to an account where your secret is well protected, and a Ledger device is the best product on the market to protect that secret.
Hands down. Yep. Okay.
MCBA did get their question here. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it. We can stay a few minutes extra. Real quick, Shinora Purple Lady, if you have a lot of questions and you're wanting to like learn more and get more one-on-one support, you are always welcome to go to our support page and open up a support ticket with us and talk to one of our agents. You may even get connected to one of us here. But all of our agents are extremely knowledgeable. And if you do have questions that maybe the agent can't answer, you can ask to be escalated. But if you have questions, or you can show up to our live streams and ask here, whatever you would like. You can even tweet at us on our Twitter page, and we probably respond to that. But I'd say the live streams and the support ticket is your best way to get in touch with us directly.
We've also got a bunch of great resources on Ledger Academy. So that's where you'll find more of our long form written content. Just trying to educate generally about crypto and wallets and how it all works, because there's so many words flying around, so many new ideas every week. Ledger Academy is your best one-stop shop for the long form educational content that might not be covered in the streams, or that you might want to understand better. So you can really come here and just search any word you hear. If you hear wallet, recovery phrase, scam, crypto, Bitcoin, whatever it is, Ledger Academy is a great place.
Yeah, this is how I studied for this job. I went to Ledger Academy and I'm like, okay, well, like, let's just learn about crypto.
Yeah, I read every darn article.
Yeah, and there's a lot more now from when we first started. It's grown massively.
Yeah, a lot of great content on there.
Yep. Okay, sorry, MCBA.
Oh, PJ got us at the same time.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, they did. All right, hi team. I previously allowed blind signing on different sites applications, but I forgot which ones. Is there a way to disable blind signing on the Nano S? Please, thank you. Yeah, cool. Definitely.
What is so first? What is blind signing?
Yeah.
I think that's an important question to ask here. So
do that while I fix up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So blind signing, all that actually is a setting on your Nano app. So when you're doing it on an app, nothing happens on the blockchain. All you're doing is you're telling the app, hey, it's okay to let me see transactions that aren't human readable. Okay? So when you go out to a third-party wallet like MetaMask and you're trying to sign a contract approval, there's no actual way to say like, oh, this contract will do this. It's called blind signing. It's kind of a pain point right now, honestly, in crypto. Is that blind signing transactions, it's not human readable. It's hard to understand what you're signing. And something Ledger Live actually provides you is a clear signing environment where a lot of those interactions will show up in human readable text through the app. So if you've enabled blind signing on your Nano app and you're just using Ledger Live, there's nothing to worry about keeping it enabled. And likewise, having it enabled, as long as you pay attention to what you're signing and understand what you're signing, doesn't pose a risk. But if you do want to disable blind signing, that is a setting in What do we have? Solana, Ethereum, all the EVM apps, so Polygon,
Yep, yep.
Binance Smart Chain, those apps have the blind signing setting in the app itself. I really can't press buttons and talk at the same
I have a lot of apps too. The ETH apps are towards the bottom. There they are.
time. Okay, so in our Ethereum app, for example, let me show the
you.
device real quick.
There we go.
Cool. So in our Ethereum app, if you can see that all right, we'll open the app. And then you can just click to the side, settings, blind signing. And so at the top, it says the thing that you actually have highlighted. At the bottom, it says the status, right? So transaction blind signing, you can double click to disable and double click to enable. If you're trying to do something in MetaMask, it'll tell you to enable blind signing. You do that in the ETH app. And then, yeah, if you want to disable blind signing for any reason, you come here, disable it, click out of that, and bam, your ETH app has blind signing disabled.
And if you ever do have blind signing disabled and you're trying to make a transaction on a dApp or some other wallet that requires blind signing, it'll let you know. It'll say, please enable blind signing in your Ethereum app, or you may just get some weird error. But if you get some weird error and you can't figure out what it is, first thing to check is go make sure you do have blind signing in. Like for instance, if you're off or something. Yep.
Sweet.
Cool. All right. Looks like we have one more question here about the passphrase. We're a little over time, but let's see. You're saying is the so anonymous 369 is asking, hey, is the 25th passphrase secure once you transfer crypto to that secret account? Yeah, the 25th passphrase is very secure. The reason it's so secure is that the actual passphrase, the 25th word that you're able to come up with on your own, which is case sensitive and does include special characters, so it can get real confusing. But either way, that is actually built off of the 24-word recovery phrase. So you still would need the 24-word recovery phrase and then the passphrase in addition to that. So it is most definitely an extra layer of security, and it's very secure.
I think the most important thing when it comes to the question of security to understand, especially in cryptography and cybersecurity in general, everything you're doing and interacting with is only as secure as you let it be.
Yes.
So your passphrase does add another layer of complexity. It does add some obscurity and plausible deniability. If someone gets your 24 words, they won't necessarily see passphrase accounts. But if your 24 words and passphrase are written on the same piece of paper, and that piece of paper is on your desk, it's just not that secure. I can walk in and I can take that. I wouldn't, but someone could. And so it's also important to understand that your own sort of personal operational security, how you manage recovery phrase, your passphrase, your device, and your PIN, all of that plays into how secure things are. Because ultimately, over time, when people's assets get compromised, it has never proven to be the device, it has always proven to be the individual, one way or another.
Cool. Well, that's actually a really good place to end. We're out of questions, and that's the main message that we here at Ledger need to always stress to our users and our people who follow us is keep your recovery phrase safe. Don't share it with anybody. If anyone ever asks you for it for any reason or in any way, shape, or form, for instance, like, oh no, don't give me your recovery phrase, but follow this link and securely enter it into this link, and you'll be safe. That's not safe. It's never safe to give your recovery phrase to anybody. And anyone who requests your recovery phrase is almost certainly a scammer, because there's really no reason anyone other than you would ever need your recovery phrase. That gives a person full access to your accounts. So keep that in mind and never share it. Always let that be a huge red flag if someone says anything regarding your recovery phrase and you giving it to them for any reason. Huge red flag.
Yeah. I do see some love in the thread or in the chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're really happy to be here. We love all your questions. We thank you guys for being here. And please, 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 as Taiju was mentioning, right, for engagement, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this content. Throw your suggestions in the comments on the question.